Commander Tyke stood on the bridge of his ship, looking at the blue planet through the large screen. His forearms rested behind his back, his scaled skin reflecting the soft lights of the control panels. Earth was small compared to other worlds, but it had what his people needed. "Scans are done, Commander," said Lieutenant Jiwoo. Her voice was calm as her fingers moved across the glowing controls. "The humans have basic space travel and some nuclear weapons. Nothing that can hurt our ships." Tyke nodded, his yellow eyes narrowing. "Good, very good." He turned to face his crew. They were the best of the Void Crest Armada, chosen for this mission because of their experience. They had taken resources from 12 other worlds before. Earth would be the 13th. "Begin the invasion plan," Tyke ordered. "Follow the usual steps. Cut their communications, target their military bases, and show our power. They will surrender quickly." Officer Do-hyun, the ship's expert on alien species, stepped forward. "Sir, our studies show humans are divided into many groups. They fight among themselves often. This should make them easy to control." "Perfect," Tyke said. "Prepare the dropships. I want our forces on the ground within 6 hours." The massive ship moved into position above Earth. Smaller ships broke away from the main vessel, heading toward the planet's surface. They targeted major cities first, places called New York, Beijing, London, and Moscow, from orbit. Tyke watched as the first explosions lit up the night side of Earth. The humans' primitive weapons fired back but did nothing against the advanced shields of the Void Crest. "Ships, sir?" called out Navigator Yuna from her station. "I'm picking up unusual communication patterns from the humans. They're not panicking as expected." Tyke waved a dismissive hand. "They're in shock. It happens with every species during first contact. They'll break soon." 24 hours passed. The reports from ground forces were confusing. The humans were fighting back with surprising skill. They were using simple tactics, but they were effective. Several Void Crest soldiers had been killed. "This is unexpected," Tyke admitted as he reviewed the battle reports, "but not concerning. Increase the attack force. Show them more of our power." 3 days into the invasion, Tyke called his officers to the command room. The mood was tense. What should have been a simple operation was becoming complicated. "Report," Tyke demanded. Lieutenant Jiwoo stepped forward. "Sir, we've lost contact with dropships in areas called North America and Eastern Europe. The humans have somehow disabled our communication systems there." "Impossible," Tyke hissed. "Their technology is too primitive." "There's more," Officer Do-hyun added. "The humans are not surrendering as predicted. Instead, they're becoming more organized. Their separate nations are working together now." Tyke paced the room, his claws clicking against the metal floor. "How many of our soldiers have we lost?" There was an uncomfortable silence before Navigator Yuna answered. "Over 2,000, sir." Tyke stopped pacing. 2,000 soldiers lost to primitives with simple weapons? It made no sense. "Show me the battle footage," he ordered. The main screen lit up with images from the ground. Tyke watched as human fighters attacked his forces. They were using captured Void Crest weapons. Some humans died instantly, but others kept coming. They showed no fear. "What is wrong with these creatures?" Tyke asked. "Don't they understand they can't win?" Officer Do-hyun cleared his throat. "Sir, I've been studying their communications and history. Humans have a strange quality. When faced with overwhelming force, they don't calculate their chances of survival like rational beings. They become more determined. They call it courage or sometimes spite." "Spite." Tyke repeated the unfamiliar word. "Yes, sir. It means they will fight harder just to hurt those who hurt them, even if they know they might lose." Tyke turned back to the screen. A human female was leading a group of fighters against a Void Crest walker unit. The humans were using simple explosives attached to long sticks. Most died in the attempt, but one managed to damage the walker's leg joint. As the machine fell, the humans cheered and moved in to capture its weapons. "They learned too quickly," Tyke muttered. "This is not normal." A week into the invasion, the situation had grown worse. The humans had adapted to Void Crest tactics. They were using guerrilla warfare, hitting quickly and then disappearing. They had even managed to shoot down a dropship using modified Earth weapons. "Commander," Lieutenant Jiwoo's voice was tight with stress. "We're detecting unusual energy readings from several human military bases." "What kind of energy?" Tyke asked. "Unknown, sir, but it's growing stronger." Before Jiwoo could say more, alarms blared across the bridge. The ship shook violently, throwing several crew members to the floor. "We're under attack," Navigator Yuna shouted. "Multiple impacts on our lower hull." Impossible, Tyke roared. Their weapons can't penetrate our shields. Another blast hit the ship, stronger than the first. The lights flickered. Sir? Officer Do-hyun's voice was filled with disbelief. The humans have modified their nuclear weapons with elements from our own technology. They're using our energy signatures to bypass our shields. Tyke stared at the damage reports flooding the main screen. How had the humans adapted so quickly? His people had estimated it would take years for them to understand even basic Void Crest technology. Order all ground forces to fall back, Tyke commanded. We need to regroup and reassess. But it was too late for many of the invasion forces. The humans had surrounded several dropship landing zones. Reports came in of Void Crest soldiers being captured. 2 weeks after the invasion began, Tyke faced a decision he had never imagined making. His fleet had lost 4 ships and thousands of soldiers. The humans were now targeting the main vessel with their modified weapons. We must retreat, Navigator Yuna urged. The humans are launching more attacks. Our shields won't hold much longer. Tyke's pride fought against the logic of the situation. Retreat was shameful. No Void Crest commander had ever retreated from a Class 3 civilization. The ship shook again as another blast hit them. Warning lights flashed across every control panel. Sir, Lieutenant Jiwoo said quietly, if we don't leave now, we may not be able to leave at all. Tyke closed his eyes briefly. Prepare for emergency jump. Get us out of this system. As the engines powered up for the jump, the communication system suddenly activated. A human face appeared on the main screen. A female with dark eyes and a scarred face. She wore a uniform with symbols of rank. This is General Minji of the United Earth Defense Force, she said, her voice calm but cold. We know you're planning to run. Remember this, we now have your technology. We know how your ships work, and we will find you. The screen went dark as the ship entered jump space, leaving Earth behind. In his private quarters, Commander Tyke reviewed everything that had gone wrong. How had he misjudged these humans so badly? They should have surrendered like all the others. A message alert sounded on his personal console. It was from Officer Do-hyun. Commander, I've completed my analysis of human behavior during the conflict. I believe we have discovered something unprecedented in our exploration history. The humans don't just fight for survival, they fight for revenge. And now they have seen our technology. They have captured our soldiers. They know we exist. Based on their historical patterns, they won't stop until they find us. May the stars help us all. Tyke stared at the message for a long time. For the first time in his life, he felt something new. Something the humans would call fear. 6 months had passed since the Void Crest Armada fled Earth. Commander Tyke's ship, the Dominion, limped through space toward their home system. The damage from human weapons had been worse than they first thought. 3 engines were still not working properly, and many systems needed repair. Tyke sat in his private chamber, watching recorded videos from the Earth invasion. He played them over and over, trying to understand where he had failed. On the screen, humans fought with a determination he had never seen before. They used simple tools to take down advanced Void Crest technology. They worked together in ways that made no sense for creatures who had been fighting each other just days before. A soft chime announced a visitor. Enter, Tyke called. Lieutenant Jiwoo stepped into the room and bowed. Her uniform was worn and patched in several places. Like everyone on the ship, she looked tired. Sir, we've received a message from High Command, she said. They want a full report on the Earth mission. Tyke turned off the video screen. What did you tell them? Only that we encountered unexpected resistance and made a strategic withdrawal to preserve our forces. Tyke nodded. The full truth would be too shameful to share. The mighty Void Crest Armada, defeated by primitives who had barely reached their own moon. There's something else, sir, Jiwoo said, her 4 eyes blinking nervously. Our long-range scanners have detected an unusual energy signature following our path. Tyke stood up quickly. What kind of signature? It matches the modified weapons the humans used against us. A ship is following us, sir. It's still far behind, but it's moving fast. Impossible, Tyke whispered. They couldn't have built a ship capable of following us through jump space so quickly. But even as he said it, Tyke remembered the humans' surprising ability to adapt and learn. They had taken Void Crest technology and changed it to work with their own in just days. Show me, he ordered. In the command center, Navigator Yuna displayed the scanner readings on the main screen. A small dot moved steadily along their path about 2 weeks behind them. It's definitely following our energy trail, Yuna explained. The ship is smaller than ours, but it's faster. How did they build a ship so quickly? Officer Do-Yun wondered aloud. Even with our technology, it should have taken them years. You don't understand humans yet, said a quiet voice from the corner of the room. Everyone turned to look at the speaker. It was Mino, one of the few surviving ground commanders from the Earth invasion. His right arm was missing below the elbow, replaced by a simple metal prosthetic. They didn't have the resources for a proper replacement. Explain, Tyke demanded. Mino stepped forward. I fought them directly. I saw what they can do when they're threatened. He paused, his yellow eyes distant with memory. They don't think like us. When we face a superior force, we calculate our chances and make logical decisions. Humans don't. They get angry. They work harder. They take risks no sane species would consider. But a spaceship capable of following us? Lieutenant Jiwoo asked. That's beyond taking risks. That's impossible. Nothing seems impossible for them when they're angry, Mino replied. And we made them very, very angry. Tyke turned back to the screen, staring at the small dot following them. Increase our speed. We need to reach home before they catch up. Sir, our engines can't take much more strain, Yuna warned. We're already pushing them beyond safe limits. I don't care, Tyke snapped. Do it. For the next week, the Dominion pushed forward as fast as possible. The engines made strange noises that worried the engineering team. But the human ship kept gaining on them. They'll catch us before we reach home, Jiwoo reported one morning. Their ship is now just 1 week behind us. Tyke called an emergency meeting with his officers. They gathered around the strategy table, faces grim. We have two options, Tyke said. We can continue to run and hope our engines hold out, or we can turn and fight. Fight? Yuna looked shocked. Sir, we barely escaped them last time and our ship is damaged. We don't know what weapons they've developed since then. But we can't lead them to our home system, Officer Do-Yun pointed out. If they're as dangerous as we've seen, they could threaten our entire civilization. The room fell silent as everyone considered this terrible possibility. The Void Crest had always been the conquerors, never the conquered. The idea that a primitive species could threaten their homeworld was unthinkable. There is a third option, Mino said quietly. We could try to communicate with them. Everyone stared at him. Communicate? Tyke repeated. We invaded their planet. We killed millions of their people. What could we possibly say to them now? We could apologize, Mino suggested. Offer reparations, Tyke laughed bitterly. Apologize? The Void Crest do not apologize to lesser species. With respect, Commander, Mino said. I'm not sure we can still call them lesser. They defeated us. They built a ship that can follow us through jump space. They've proven themselves to be more dangerous than we thought. Before Tyke could respond, an alarm blared through the ship. Red lights flashed on every console. What now? Tyke demanded. Lieutenant Jiwoo checked her screen, her four eyes widening in shock. Sir, the human ship has... It's jumped ahead of us. It's blocking our path. That's not possible, Yuna exclaimed. They couldn't have calculated a jump point without the navigation data from our captured ships, Do-Yun finished grimly. They must have extracted it from our computers. The main screen activated, showing a view of space ahead of them. A ship hung in their path. It was smaller than the Dominion, but sleek and dangerous looking. Parts of it clearly used Voidcrest technology, but modified in ways Tyke had never seen before. They're hailing us, Jiwoo reported, her voice shaking slightly. Tyke straightened his uniform and took a deep breath. Put them through. The screen changed to show the interior of the human ship. A female human stood in the center, the same one who had threatened them as they fled Earth. General Minji. Her face had more scars now, and her eyes were cold. Commander Tyke, she said. I told you we would find you. Tyke tried to keep his voice steady. How did you build a ship capable of following us so quickly? Minji's mouth curved in what humans called a smile, but there was no warmth in it. When you attacked our world, you forced us to work together in ways we never had before. All our nations, all our resources focused on one goal, making sure you could never threaten us again. She stepped aside, revealing more of the human ship's bridge. Tyke gasped. Among the human crew stood several Voidcrest soldiers, prisoners from the failed invasion. Your people have been very helpful, Minji continued. Some volunteered information willingly. Others needed more persuasion. What do you want? Tyke asked, though he feared he already knew the answer. Justice, Minji replied simply. You came to our world. You killed our people. You thought we would be easy to conquer. She leaned closer to the screen. We want to make sure you never make that mistake again. We are returning to our home system, Taik said. We pose no threat to Earth now. That's not good enough, Minji said. We've learned about your people from your captured soldiers. The Voidcrest Armada has conquered many worlds. You take what you want and leave destruction behind. Earth was just the latest target. She straightened up. We're not letting you go home to gather more ships. This ends now. The screen went dark. Moments later, the ship shook as something hit their shields. They're firing on us, Yuna shouted. Multiple impacts! Return fire, Taik ordered. All weapons. But the human ship moved with surprising speed, avoiding most of the Dominion's attacks while continuing to hit them with precise strikes. They're targeting our engines, Jiwoo reported as another blast rocked the ship. Shields are failing. Taik watched in horror as the human ship circled around them, firing weapons that seemed to cut through their defenses like they weren't even there. How? He whispered. How did they advance so quickly? Officer Do-yun looked up from his console, his face pale. Fear, Commander. Fear and anger. The most powerful motivators in the universe. As the Dominion systems began to fail around them, Taik finally understood the terrible mistake he had made. He had awakened something far more dangerous than any weapon, humanity's wrath. The Dominion shuddered as another blast hit its failing shields. Commander Taik gripped the edge of the command console to stay upright. Around him, his crew worked frantically to keep their systems running. Engines are at 20%, shouted Engineer Hana from her station. One more direct hit and we lose jump capability. Taik watched the human ship on the main screen. It moved with surprising grace for a vessel built so quickly. The humans had not only copied Voidcrest technology, they had improved it. We can't win this fight, Lieutenant Jiwoo said quietly beside him. Their weapons are cutting through our shields like they're not even there. Taik knew she was right, but surrender was unthinkable. No Voidcrest commander had ever surrendered to a lesser species. It would bring shame to his entire lineage. The ship rocked again. Warning lights flashed across every console. Hull breach on Deck 4, reported Officer Do-hyun. Emergency seals activated. Taik closed his eyes briefly. His pride wasn't worth the lives of his entire crew. Open a channel to the human ship, he ordered. Jiwoo looked at him in surprise but quickly obeyed. The main screen flickered and General Minji's face appeared again. Ready to talk now, Commander? She asked. Taik straightened his back. We request a ceasefire to discuss terms. Minji's expression didn't change. You're not in a position to request anything, but I'll give you one chance to save your crew. Surrender your ship and prepare to be boarded. And if I refuse, then we continue until your ship is destroyed. The choice is yours. The screen went dark. Taik turned to face his officers. Their expressions ranged from shock to fear. We can't let them board us, Navigator Yuna protested. They'll take our technology, our star charts. They could find the way to our homeworld. They already have our technology, Mino pointed out. And they've proven they can follow us anywhere. Taik nodded slowly. Prepare for boarding. All crew are to cooperate. No resistance. An hour later, Taik stood in the main docking bay as the airlock doors opened. 20 humans in armored suits entered, weapons ready. Behind them came General Minji, flanked by 2 Voidcrest prisoners. Taik recognized one of the prisoners, Captain Jinky, who had led the ground assault on a region of Earth called Europe. Jinky wouldn't meet Taik's eyes. Commander Taik, Minji said, walking forward. Your ship is now under human control. Your crew will be detained while we decide what to do with you. What do you want from us? Taik asked. Information, Minji replied. About your people, your worlds, your technology. She stepped closer. And justice for what you did to Earth. The humans were efficient. They separated the Voidcrest crew into small groups and confined them to quarters. Taik was taken to his own private chamber, now guarded by 2 humans with weapons. For 3 days, Taik saw no one except the guards who brought him food. On the 4th day, the door opened and a human male entered. He wore a different uniform than the others, with symbols Taik didn't recognize. I am Dr. Junho, the human said. I'm here to ask you some questions. Taik sat stiffly in his chair. I will tell you nothing that could harm my people. Dr. Junho smiled slightly. We're not asking for military secrets, Commander. We want to understand why you attacked Earth. What made you think you had the right to invade our world? The question confused Tyke. We needed resources. Your planet had them. It's the natural order. The strong take what they need from the weak. Dr. Junho made notes on a small device. And this is how your civilization has always operated? Taking from others? Of course. It's how all advanced species operate. The Void Crest have conquered 12 worlds before Earth. It's how we've survived for thousands of years. Interesting, Dr. Junho murmured. And it never occurred to you to trade for these resources? To establish peaceful contact? Tyke blinked his yellow eyes in confusion. Trade with primitives? Why would we share power when we can simply take what we need? The questioning continued for hours. Dr. Junho asked about Void Crest history, culture, beliefs. Tyke answered most questions, seeing no harm in explaining things that any educated species would understand. After Dr. Junho left, Tyke lay on his sleeping platform, thinking about the strange questions. The humans seemed genuinely puzzled by concepts that were basic to Void Crest society. Perhaps they were even more primitive than he had thought. The next day, General Minji herself came to see him. She sat across from him, studying his face. Dr. Junho has shared his report with me, she said. Your people have a very different view of the universe than humans do. Obviously, Tyke replied. We are an advanced species. You are still developing. Minji laughed, a short, sharp sound. Is that what you still believe? After we defeated your invasion and captured your ship? You caught us by surprise, Tyke admitted. We underestimated your capacity for violence. No, Minji said, leaning forward. You underestimated our capacity for cooperation. When you attacked us, you did something no one on Earth had managed to do in our entire history. You united us. She stood up and walked to the small window that looked out into space. Before your ships appeared, we were divided. Nations fought over resources, religion, territory, but when you threatened all of us, those differences suddenly seemed small. Tyke considered this. So your strength came from unity? Partly, Minji nodded, but also from something your people seem to lack, adaptation. We don't just take technology, we improve it. We see problems as challenges to overcome, not just obstacles to destroy. She turned back to face him. We've studied your ship's records. The 12 worlds you conquered before Earth, you stripped them of resources and left the native species to die out. It's the natural way, Tyke said. The strong survive. That's where you're wrong, Minji replied. True strength isn't about domination. It's about creation, building something better than what came before. She walked to the door, then paused. Tomorrow I'm going to show you something. Something that might help you understand humans better. The next morning, 2 guards escorted Tyke to a part of his own ship he didn't recognize anymore. The humans had transformed one of the cargo bays into some kind of laboratory. Inside, human scientists worked alongside several Void Crest prisoners. What is this? Tyke asked as Minji joined him. This is cooperation, she answered. Some of your people have chosen to work with us. They're helping us understand your technology, and we're showing them new ways to use it. Tyke stared at the Void Crest scientists. They are traitors. They're survivors, Minji corrected. And they're learning something. Your society seems to have forgotten their strength and diversity of thought. She led him to a large screen showing images of Earth. But it wasn't the Earth Tyke remembered attacking. The cities were rebuilt, but different. New structures rose that combined human and Void Crest design elements. This is Earth now, Minji explained. We've used what we learned from your technology to rebuild, better than before. More efficient, more sustainable. How long have I been in space? Tyke asked, confused. This would take years. Only 6 months, Minji said. When humans have a purpose, we work quickly. She touched the screen, changing the image to show a large construction in orbit around Earth. It was a massive shipyard, building vessels that looked like improved versions of Void Crest ships. This is what you need to understand about humans, Commander, Minji said softly. We don't just want to survive. We want to thrive, and we'll use everything at our disposal to do that, including the technology of those who tried to destroy us. Tyke felt a cold fear spreading through his body. You're building a fleet, Minji nodded. Yes, because now we know we're not alone in the universe, and not everyone out there is friendly. You plan to attack our homeworld, Tyke said. It wasn't a question. That depends on you, Minji replied, and on what we learn about your people in the coming days. As Tyke was led back to his quarters, he realized that the humans weren't just dangerous because of their weapons or their unity. They were dangerous because they could change, adapt, and grow stronger from challenges that would destroy other species. For the first time, he wondered if the Voidcrest way, taking rather than creating, might be the true weakness after all. 2 weeks had passed since Tyke first saw the human shipyards. Each day, Dr. Junho or General Minji would come to his quarters and show him more about Earth and its people. They showed him videos of human history, their wars and their peace treaties. They explained their different cultures and beliefs. Most strange to Tyke was how humans could disagree strongly but still work together. Today, Tyke sat in a new room. It was larger than his quarters and had a round table in the center. General Minji sat across from him with Dr. Junho beside her. 2 other humans were also present, a female introduced as Admiral Suk and a male named Director Quan. "We've reached a decision about you and your crew," Minji announced. Tyke straightened in his chair. He had expected this day would come, but still felt unprepared. "What is our fate?" Admiral Suk spoke first. "Some of my colleagues wanted to execute all of you as war criminals. You killed millions of our people in your unprovoked attack." Tyke's throat felt dry. He had known this was a possibility. In Voidcrest culture, defeated enemies were rarely shown mercy. "Others suggested we should use you as test subjects," Director Quan added. "To learn more about your biology and weaknesses," Dr. Junho raised a hand. "But those options were rejected." "We're not like you, Commander. We don't destroy what we don't understand." Minji placed a small device on the table. It projected a holographic image of a star system Tyke recognized immediately. His home. "We know where your homeworld is," she said quietly. "Your ship's navigation data was easy to access. We could send our fleet there now." Tyke felt his heart's beating faster. "And will you?" "That depends on you," Minji replied. "We've learned much about the Voidcrest in these past weeks. Your society is built on conquest. You take what you need without concern for others. But we've also learned that not all your people agree with this approach." She touched the device, and the image changed to show several Voidcrest, including Captain Jinky and some of the other prisoners, working alongside humans. "These individuals have shown us that Voidcrest are capable of change," Dr. Junho explained. "They've embraced new ideas, new ways of thinking." "They are weak," Tyke said automatically, but without his usual conviction. "Are they?" Admiral Suk challenged. "Or are they simply smart enough to recognize a better way when they see it?" Director Quan leaned forward. "Here is our proposal, Commander. You will return to your homeworld." "You're letting us go?" Tyke interrupted, surprised. "Not exactly," Minji said. "You will return as our ambassador. You will show your leaders what happens when they attack Earth. You will explain that we know where they are, and that we have the technology to reach them." "You want me to threaten my own people?" Tyke said flatly. "No," Dr. Junho shook his head. "We want you to offer them a choice." Minji touched the device again. The hologram now showed 2 images side by side. One was a fleet of human warships. The other showed 2 different species, human and Voidcrest, working together on what appeared to be a space station. Choice 1. They continue their ways of conquest, and eventually face Earth's united forces, Minji explained. Choice 2. They learn to coexist, to trade rather than take. We share knowledge, resources, and space. Tyke stared at the images. "My leaders will never agree to this. The Voidcrest have been conquerors for thousands of years. It is our way." "Ways can change," Dr. Junho said gently. "Humans once thought slavery was acceptable. We once believed women couldn't lead. We once killed each other over differences in skin color or beliefs. We changed because we had to survive and grow." Admiral Suk nodded. "Change or die. That's the choice all successful species face eventually." Tyke looked at each human face around the table. He had been taught that other species were simply resources to be used or obstacles to be removed. But these humans were different. They had defeated his forces, captured his ship, and now held the fate of his entire civilization in their hands. Yet they were offering a choice rather than simply destroying their enemy. "Why?" he asked finally. "Why offer us anything? Why not just attack our homeworld and take revenge?" "Because that would make us like you," Minji said simply. "And we've worked too hard to be better than that." Director Quan added, "Revenge is easy. Peace is harder. We're choosing the harder path because it's the better one in the long run. Tyke was silent for a long time. Finally, he asked, "And if I refuse to be your messenger?" "Then we'll send someone else," Dr. Junho replied. "Captain Jinky has already volunteered." Tyke felt a surge of anger at the mention of Jinky's name. "He is a traitor." "He is a survivor," Minji corrected. "And he's learned something you haven't yet. That adaptation is stronger than stubbornness." The meeting ended and Tyke was returned to his quarters. For hours he paced the small room, thinking about everything he had seen and heard. The humans could have destroyed his ship. They could be planning to attack his homeworld right now. Instead, they were offering a chance for peace. It made no sense according to everything he had been taught. Yet he couldn't deny the evidence before him. The humans had defeated the Void Crest not just through strength of arms, but through their ability to adapt, to unite, to turn an enemy's technology against them. Late that night, his door opened. Captain Jinky stood there, flanked by human guards. "May I enter, Commander?" Jinky asked formally. Tyke wanted to refuse, to call Jinky a traitor again, but curiosity won out. "Enter." The guards remained outside as Jinky stepped into the room. He looked different than Tyke remembered. His posture was straighter, his eyes clearer. "You've changed," Tyke observed. "Yes," Jinky agreed. "Working with the humans has changed me. They think differently than we do." "They've corrupted you," Tyke said, but without much force. Jinky shook his head. "They've opened my eyes. Did you know that on Earth many different species live together? Animals, plants, humans, all part of what they call an ecosystem. Each species has its role, and the system works best when all parts are healthy." "What does this have to do with us?" Tyke asked. "Everything," Jinky replied. "The Void Crest way. Taking resources until nothing is left, then moving on, it's not sustainable. Eventually we'll run out of worlds to conquer. But the human way, building, growing, improving, that can last forever." Tyke turned away. "You sound like them now?" "I've learned from them," Jinky said. "And I've taught them things too. That's what cooperation means. Both sides benefit." He moved closer to Tyke. "I've volunteered to return home to deliver the humans' message. But it would be better coming from you. You're a commander. The High Council will listen to you." "They'll execute me for failure," Tyke muttered. "Perhaps," Jinky acknowledged. "Or perhaps they'll listen when you tell them what these humans can do. How quickly they learn, how fiercely they fight when threatened, how merciful they can be when offered peace." Jinky moved toward the door, then paused. "The humans have a saying. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. We attacked Earth because we thought humans were weak. We were wrong. If we make that mistake again, we won't get another chance." After Jinky left, Tyke sat on the edge of his sleeping platform, thinking about everything he had seen and learned. The humans' offer, the choice they were giving his people. For the first time in his life, Commander Tyke wondered if the Void Crest way was truly the best way. If perhaps there was strength and cooperation that conquest could never match. The next morning, when General Minji came to his quarters, Tyke had made his decision. "I will take your message to my people," he said. "I will tell them what I have seen here." Minji studied his face. "And what exactly have you seen, Commander?" Tyke met her gaze steadily. "I have seen that true strength isn't in conquering others. It's in working together to build something greater than either could create alone." For the first time, Minji smiled at him. A real smile, not the cold one she had shown before. "Then there may be hope for your people after all." The small ship moved through space, approaching the outer defense ring of the Void Crest home system. It was a strange vessel, part Void Crest design, part human technology. Inside, Commander Tyke sat at the controls with Captain Jinky beside him. 3 humans were also aboard. Dr. Junho, a security officer named Juan, and a young engineer called Nari. "We're being scanned," Jinky reported as lights flashed on the control panel. "Defense platforms are locking weapons on us." Tyke activated the communication system. "This is Commander Tyke of the Dominion, requesting permission to approach homeworld. Security code Voidcrest 7 Alpha 9. There was a long pause before a response came. "Commander Tyke? Your ship was reported lost 6 months ago. Identify your vessel." "This is a human Voidcrest hybrid ship," Tyke replied. "I have returned with important information for the High Council." Another pause, longer this time. Finally, Proceed to Orbital Station 4. Do not deviate from the assigned path or you will be destroyed. As they followed the designated route, Dr. Junho moved to stand beside Tyke. Are you ready for this? He asked quietly. Tyke's mandibles clicked nervously. No, but it must be done. The orbital station was a massive structure circling the Void Crest homeworld. As their ship docked, Tyke could see dozens of military vessels nearby. The Void Crest were preparing for war. They think we're coming back to attack them, Jinky observed. They're right to be concerned, Officer Juan said, just not in the way they think. When the airlock opened, 20 armed Void Crest soldiers waited for them. Their weapons raised when they saw the humans. Lower your weapons, Tyke ordered, stepping forward. These humans are here under my protection. The lead soldier, wearing the insignia of a major, stepped forward. Commander Tyke, you and the other Void Crest will come with us. The aliens will remain here under guard. No, Tyke said firmly. We all go together or none of us go. The major's yellow eyes narrowed. You dare give orders after your failure? The High Council wants answers about your defeat at Earth. They do not want to see the creatures who defeated you. That is exactly why they need to see them, Tyke insisted. To understand what we're facing. After a tense moment, the major spoke into his communication device. Several minutes passed before he looked up again. The council will see all of you, but the aliens will be restrained. Dr. Junho stepped forward. We accept your terms. The journey to the High Council chamber was tense. They traveled in a large transport vehicle through the capital city. Through the windows, Tyke could see his homeworld for the first time in over a year. It looked the same. Tall, angular buildings, crowded streets, the constant movement of ships overhead. Yet it felt different to him now. He saw things he had never noticed before. The lack of green spaces, the uniformity of the architecture, the absence of the diversity he had seen on Earth. The High Council chamber was a vast room with a curved table where 7 elderly Void Crest sat. Behind them stood military officers and government officials. All eyes turned to stare as Tyke's group was led in. Commander Tyke, said the head counselor, an ancient female named Sari. You returned to us in strange company after a humiliating defeat. Tyke bowed respectfully. Honored Council, I have returned to deliver important information about the species known as humans. We know about the humans, growled another counselor. They destroyed half your fleet and killed thousands of our soldiers. The question is why you have brought them here. Tyke took a deep breath. Because you need to understand them. They are not like any species we have encountered before. For the next hour, Tyke explained everything that had happened. The invasion, the unexpected human response, their rapid adaptation of Void Crest technology, and finally, their offer. They know where our homeworld is, he concluded. They have the technology to reach us. But instead of attacking, they offer a choice. War or peace. The council chamber erupted in angry shouts. Peace with primitives? This is an insult. Commander Tyke has been corrupted. Head Counselor Sari raised her hand for silence. Let us hear from these humans directly. She pointed at Dr. Junho. You, speak. Dr. Junho stepped forward, his restraints clinking. Thank you, Counselor. My name is Dr. Junho. I am a xenobiologist. I study alien life forms. For the past 6 months, I have been studying your people. Studying us? A counselor interrupted. We are not specimens for your examination, yet you treated us as resources to be harvested. Dr. Junho replied calmly. You came to our world without warning, killed millions of our people and expected us to submit. When we didn't, you were surprised. He looked around the chamber. That surprise is why I'm standing here today. You fundamentally misunderstood humans. We are not like the other species you have conquered. When threatened, we don't calculate odds of survival. We unite and fight back. When faced with superior technology, we don't surrender. We learn and adapt. Engineer Nari spoke next. Your ships are impressive but inefficient. Your weapons are powerful but lack precision. In 6 months, we've improved on designs that you've used for centuries. This caused another uproar among the officials. One military commander stepped forward. Impossible. Our technology is the most advanced in the known galaxy. Officer Juan smiled slightly. Then how did we defeat your invasion force? How did we build ships that could follow you through jump space? How did we find your homeworld? Silence fell over the chamber as the Void Crest considered these uncomfortable questions. Head Counselor Sari leaned forward. What exactly are you offering us? Dr. Junho nodded to Nari, who activated a small device. A holographic image appeared in the center of the chamber, the same images Tyke had been shown on the Dominion. Earth's growing fleet on one side and humans and Voidcrest working together on the other. Two paths, Dr. Junho explained. War, which will cost both our species dearly, or cooperation, which could benefit us both. Cooperation? Scoffed a counselor. What could we possibly gain from working with you? New perspectives, Jinky answered, speaking for the first time. New ways of solving problems. Humans don't think like us. They see possibilities where we see only obstacles. They've built a society based on diversity, Tyke added. Different ideas, different approaches, all working together. It gives them strength we don't have. Head counselor Sari studied the holographic images carefully. And if we refuse this cooperation, if we choose to fight, then you should know what you're facing, Officer Juan said. He touched the device and the image changed to show Earth's shipyards now producing vessels at an astonishing rate. This is what humans can build in 6 months when united by a common threat. Imagine what we can do in a year. Or 5. The council chamber was silent as the implication sank in. Finally, a military commander spoke. We could strike first. Launch our entire fleet now before they're ready. They are already ready, Tyke said quietly, and they're expecting that response. There are human ships positioned throughout this sector, watching, waiting. If we attack, they will know. How can you be certain? Demanded the commander. Because that's what I would do, Tyke replied. And humans think more strategically than we gave them credit for. Head counselor Siri raised her hand again. We must discuss this privately. You will wait outside. As they were led from the chamber, Dr. Junho whispered to Tyke. Do you think they'll listen? I don't know, Tyke admitted. Change doesn't come easily to the Voidcrest. They waited for hours. Finally, they were called back into the chamber. The council members looked tired, and Tyke could tell there had been heated arguments. We have reached a decision, Head Counselor Sari announced. We will send a delegation to Earth to discuss this cooperation, but we will also continue to strengthen our defenses. Trust must be earned. Dr. Junho bowed slightly. A wise decision, Counselor. We ask for nothing more than a chance to show that both our species can benefit from peace. As they left the council chamber, Tyke felt strangely light, as if a great weight had been lifted from him. For the first time since the failed invasion, he felt hope for his people's future. You did well, Jinky said as they boarded their ship for the return journey. We all did, Tyke replied. But this is just the beginning. Change will not come quickly or easily. Dr. Junho smiled. The important thing is that it has begun. Your people have taken their first step toward a different future. As their ship left orbit, Tyke looked back at his homeworld. He had left as a conqueror, certain of his superiority. He returned to something different, not quite human, but no longer fully Voidcrest in his thinking. I survived humanity's wrath, he said quietly to himself. And now I understand why that was a gift, not a curse. The ship accelerated toward Earth, carrying the news of the Council's decision. Behind them, the Voidcrest homeworld grew smaller, its future now tied to the strange, adaptable, unpredictable species that had changed everything Tyke thought he knew about strength and survival.